These 5 proven skills will give you as a musician a sustainable and reliable income, better pay and better gigs, and will set you ahead of 90% of the other musicians out there. And in fact, I will submit to you that these 5 skills are the difference between where you are now and where you want to be as a musician. So in this video, we're going to be talking about the 5 essential skills that every musician should have. We're going to discover the key skills that make or that can elevate your music and career and enhance your professional relationships. And we're going to get into this by talking about the first skill. This is one of the most important ones. And the first skill is communication. No big surprise, communication is a really big skill for really everyone. If you look up the top 5-10 skills that any person could have in 2025 or and beyond, and even in years prior, communication is always going to be one of those skills that is on that list, and for good reason. See, communication is the ability to clearly express ideas, needs, and emotions. It builds strong relationships with your bandmates and, teammates and other people around you, your clients and fans. And the thing is, clear communication will cut 80% of the confusion and the misunderstanding and all of the animosity that we have in our bands and in our groups. And, it will prevent a lot of us from breaking up. So what you want to do is practice expressing yourself in everyday situations. So yes, communication is a key skill. This is one of the crux sort of foundational skills that, again, when implemented correctly and when used correctly, is going to cut down on so much of the idiot or the idiocy kind of stuff that goes on within our teams and groups. What happens a lot is a lot of misunderstandings happen. A lot of, again, miscommunication happens because communication is not clear for everyone. I see this all the time with gigs and stuff that even I get called for now, where people are calling me for stuff and certain things are not clearly communicated. It's gotten to the point to where I tell people, when someone asks me to do something, hey, Terrence, are you available to do this gig or whatever on Friday or Saturday night? What I will say to people is, I don't know yet. I'm not sure if I'm able to do the gig. It just depends on what you're going to tell me here. Like, communicate to me what this is about, because people have a tendency to call and be like, hey, are you available Friday night at 8:00? And I'm like, maybe. And then what will happen is if I say yes, they'll hit me with like this. Okay, we're going to play from 8 to 2:00 in the morning. It's only going to be $100. You got to bring all your stuff, and it's a 45-minute drive from your house. Like, what? Wait, no. So no, I'm not available for that. So you see how that works? This is why communication is important. Again, on the stuff that even happens within our groups and teams, because a lot of us get this, and this is on a lot of us musicians too. A lot of us have this ego thing, which kind of goes into communication to where we feel like someone is just automatically supposed to understand or know what we mean when we say something. No, communication has to be clear. It has to be intentional. You have to be intentional about communicating clearly. Again, this is a big foundational issue. This is why I included this skill that every musician needs to have first. This is the big thing. This is, again, going to cut down on the animosity. And as we'll see when we get to some of the other skills, how communication is going to play a part in the other skills that we're going to have. So again, communication is the first skill. Now, the next skill that we as musicians should have is the skill of negotiation. The skill of negotiation. And this is the ability to reach mutually beneficial agreements. It ensures fair pay, better gig opportunities, and professional relationships. Here's the thing. You need to write this down. If you're writing down, if you're taking notes, or you need to remember this. You don't get what you deserve. You get what you negotiate. So you need to know your worth and learn what a good deal is. So this skill of negotiation with us as musicians it's paramount to our success. It's paramount to success with anyone in any sort of business that wants to make money and wants to elevate and scale where they are, right? They want to do more. They want to make more, because you're always going to have to work with other people. When you're trying to get money from other people and you're giving them value for that money, there's always going to be an element of negotiation there. People who give you money are generally going to want to know how they can get the most out of you and pay you the least amount of money. That's generally everybody's disposition. You know that just as us as people, we want really, really valuable stuff for the smallest amount of price that we can pay for it. If we're paying for a service for somebody to come to our house and, I don't know, our house cleaner or a plumber or somebody to wash our car, we want the best job done in that stuff and pay the least amount of money. That's just the way we are as people. So to protect yourself from that sort of disposition that people have, you need to have the art and the skill of negotiation, of talking to them and communicating with them. See how communication is coming in? Communicating with them in a way that's going to help you plead your case and get you what you want. So you get the fair pay. You build these professional relationships with people. You see how that works? So again, the thing is, you don't get what you deserve. You get what you negotiate. This is something that a lot of musicians and bands and artists don't understand. Everybody thinks, oh, we're a good band. We're great musicians. We deserve this. We deserve this pay. We deserve to be getting paid more. You know, it's only the other people out there that's getting paid. Why are everybody else getting paid more than us? All of that. It's because they understand they don't get what they deserve. They get what they negotiate. It's why you see musicians and artists and bands who you would probably label as not as talented, not as good as your band or some other group, getting paid more. The likelihood that they've learned this art of negotiation and the skill of negotiation is probably very high. So again, this is something that we need to have. So what this involves, again, is the communication of your value and knowing your value and knowing what a good deal is. It takes a little bit of research. It takes a little bit of background information, but this is something that you learn over time. But this is the second most important skill that we as musicians need to have, the skill of negotiation. Now, this leads us into the third skill, which is a really important one as well. And that third skill is the skill of finalization. It sounds like a weird one, sounds like a weird word, can I say the word? Weird word. That's what I'm trying to say. But the skill of finalization is this. It's the ability to get stuff done. You see what I put there? It's the ability to get sugar honey iced tea done. That's just what it is. You got to develop this ability to get stuff done. So, and this is because procrastination is the enemy of progress. Procrastination is the enemy of progress. And knowing you need to finish that song or start that YouTube channel or post to Instagram and all of that kind of stuff, you know you need to do that. So that's stuff that you need to finish. You need to get on that stuff and make it happen. And the way that you do this is you just work on small tasks every day until it's finished. So finalization. I give a story a lot. I've told this story before. It's been about 20 years ago now. I had a friend of mine that reached out to me about starting a band. And they had this really great idea to put this band together. We had some original music. We was going to go into the studio and record this music. It was some really great music. And I'm, of course, take that with a grain of salt. I'm the person that's saying it that was in the band. And I'm saying our music was great. In other news, water's wet, right? So, but it really was some great music that we came up with. And we went in the studio. We got the band together. We went in the studio and started recording the stuff. But the guy that was over the band was a bit of a perfectionist. And what happened was this recording process that we were going through turned into a back and forth process in and out of the studio, recording the same songs over and over and over again. And again, this was in a time where You're not talking about now where everybody has a laptop and an interface in their home and can record at will. We're talking about time where you had to pay to go into the studio, pay for studio hours for someone professional to go in and record your stuff, right? So we're paying money, going in and out of the studio. I mean, over little stuff too. It was like, this song came out great. We recorded it great, but this one little word that the vocalist said wasn't really how she was supposed to say it. So now let's go back in the studio and spend money to record it, the kind of thing. And it got ridiculous. It was like that on every song. I mean, I remember one song, it was like, oh, the snare drum on this song doesn't sound good, so let's go back and re-record the whole song. It was that kind of thing. So much to the point, and that started happening so much to the point of where a lot of the band members got tired and got weary. We were all coming of age sort of at the time, and we were growing up. People were building families and stuff like that. So they had other priorities come in. And so slowly but surely, most of us band members kind of fell off. All of the people in the band eventually went to do something else. They had other priorities they had to take out, start families and all of that kind of stuff. And even now, 20 something years later, that project that we started still hasn't been finished. It's an extreme version of like not finalizing something, but you would be surprised the amount of musicians and bands and stuff that I talk to that deal with something similar, that tell me, Terrence, I've been working on this such and such, this song for, 4, 5, 6 years. I've been thinking about starting a YouTube channel or uploading my content to Instagram or YouTube and all of this kind of stuff, or TikTok since the pandemic. When everybody went online during the pandemic, I started thinking about it then and just didn't get to it. You'd be surprised the amount of people that tell me this stuff. And the problem with this is important. The problem with this is if you've ever heard the saying, done is better than perfect, there's a reason for that. See, when you finalize stuff, when you get stuff done, when you finish it, you're able to get feedback. That's the most important part of it, to get the feedback from what you've completed, so that the next time you do it, the next time you venture out to do something, you have that feedback to go on. That's how success is built. So think about this. You've heard the saying, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step. So you're going 1,000 miles, you have to begin that with one step. But what happens is, after you take that first step, and again, this is the analogy, when you take that first step, you start to understand what this trip is going to take, this 1,000-mile trip is going to take. So with each step, you start to see, oh, I get tired here. Oh, my foot hurts here. Or, hey, it's cold in this part of town, so I need to wear a coat. You start getting feedback, right? You get feedback of all of those things. Now, as you continue that journey, you use that feedback with each new step. Each new step you take, you understand, okay, maybe I need to walk a little bit slower this time, this step, this next 10 or 15 steps. You see how that works? That is the process of finalization, taking the step and finishing the step so that you can use that feedback for something else, for whatever else you're doing in the future. The next thing, this is something that is crucially important for us musicians, artists, and bands. So again, the way that you do this is you work on those small tasks every day, that one step. You work on finishing that one step every day. So if it's a song you have that you've written that you want to record, finish the verse of it. Finish that chorus of it today. If it's some of your content you want to upload to YouTube, record it today. You may not upload it today, upload it tomorrow. That'll be your small task for tomorrow. But each day, do a step and finalize a step, and then work on getting that complete task as a whole done. So again, this is the third most important tip. All right, so I'll go over here to the chat. You guys let me know what you're thinking. Again, we've talked about communication, negotiation, and finalization. Those are the three big tips out of the 5 that we need to concentrate on as musicians if we want to be successful. Again, I think all of these tips mean the difference between where you are right now as a musician and where you want to be as a musician. This is really, really, really important. So you guys let me know what you're thinking in the chat. And while you guys are typing, make sure you do me a favor. If you're getting value out of this video so far, do me a quick favor and just hit the like button on this video. It helps it spread around YouTube, helps it get shared and all of that kind of stuff. It helps with the YouTube algorithm. And I would really appreciate that so much if you guys would do that. I see Mike is here. A couple of other guys are here. So thank you guys so much for being here. I know there's a delay between me talking and you hearing me and then having the time to type what your responses are as we're going. So I'll let you guys do that and we'll move on to the 4th skill that we as musicians really need to have. So the 4th skill, this is another really important. The 4th skill that we as musicians need to have is the skill of monetization. And monetization is the ability to turn your talent and skills into sustainable income. And learning this skill, getting this skill down will help you never have to worry about money again. So ways that you could do that. So teaching lessons or selling your music expertise, things like mentoring and things like that. So what you want to do is think of skills that you can monetize and start building a strategy for them. So skill of monetization. We hear this word a lot as it pertains to stuff like social media, like YouTubers. We hear that all the time. How do you monetize your channel? How do you start making money from YouTube and Instagram and all of that kind of stuff, right? We hear that all the time. But monetization as a term, as a whole, it just really means taking something that you have, a skill or talent or something like that, and turning it into income so that it's a sustainable income for you. And that's basically what we musicians do as a whole, right? We as musicians, we rent out or sell our talent. We sell our skills. When we get hired for a gig, someone is hiring us and paying us to come in and be entertainment for whatever it is that we're paying for. So we're selling our talent and skills. So that's monetization. But what you want to do with this is you want to figure out how you can take those skills, all of the talents and skills and stuff that you have as a musician, turn them into a business so that it's a recurring process for you. That's really what a business is. A business is something that has a recurring process that continuously or consistently earns money and brings money in. So you spend out a little bit of money, you bring some money in, spend out a little bit of money. So that cycle happens with the business. That's what a sustainable income is. And then ideally you make that cycle grow. So that's what's called scaling. You make it as big as it possibly can be. You scale, you make it bigger. So that's ideally what you want to do as a musician. And again, doing this, when you learn how to do this skill effectively, when you get this down, when you nail monetization, you never going to have to worry about money again because you have the skill. This is why all of these skills sort of build on top of each other, like the finalization thing. So you can't get to this point until you finalize what it is that you're doing and you communicate it and you're able to negotiate. All of that stuff goes into business, right? So all of these skills build on top of each other. So again, some of the examples that you could use for that is, teaching lessons. How can you, if that's something that you want to do as a musician online or something like that, how can you monetize that? How can you start a business and create a business around that? Now, I want to be clear about what I mean by creating a business. I know a lot of people, when we talk about business, we tend to think about like this big thing, like this big building or physical building or something like that. It doesn't necessarily have to be anything like that. Online business, it could be simple as you uploading videos to YouTube and sending them to your potential clients and having them pay for through your PayPal account. That's a business. You can start a business like that. So again, selling your music expertise, teaching lessons, being a mentor to younger musicians or just musicians who haven't made it as far as you've made it yet, who don't have all of the knowledge and skill that you have. All of those things are things that you can do to monetize your talent and skill. So again, what you want to start doing is thinking of ways that you can monetize your talent, your knowledge, your skill, everything that you know as a business person, as a musician, all of these kind of things. How can you monetize them and start putting them into action and do what? Finalize them. That's how that builds off of this. So again, the fourth skill is monetization. Now, that brings us right into this fifth skill, which is kind of a culmination of all of these things that we've talked about so far. And this one is really important too. The fifth skill that we need to learn as musicians is the skill of content creation. Content creation. And this is the ability to create engaging content that builds your brand and your reputation. So it will increase your visibility and attract opportunities for you. So for example, posting content around your expertise on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok, kind of like what we just talked about. And the thing with that is you want to be consistent and authentic, because this multiplies your chances for success. Listen, my friends, we are in the year of 2025, as you know, and as people are watching this video. As we're talking right now, what's called the creator economy, which is built around content creation, is the new revolution. Point blank, period. The jury is out on that. It's a done deal. This is the new revolution. What I mean by that is, if you know anything about history, in previous times, there was like the Industrial Revolution, right? Where machines and all of that kind of stuff came into existence. And then that became the main way that people made money. So all of these different revolutions have happened throughout history. We are in the new one now, which is the creator economy, sort of digital market revolution. And this is where we are. This has become the main way, or one of the main ways, and it's growing year by year. But one of the main ways that money is generated, created, and people are becoming rich. Point blank, period. You've seen it. You see it every day. You see some 13, 14-year-old TikToker that's creating TikTok videos that's a billionaire. Because they've become so popular on TikTok, they're making that kind of money. We see musicians on YouTube I've shown this before on live streams, where they've got hundreds of thousands and even millions of followers, where they're basically building this dynasty within themselves, making all kinds of money just uploading content on a platform, creating content. Not only just video stuff. Video is probably the main way, but a lot of people are even still doing, audio podcasts, written content. Blogs themselves are even still popular, where people are doing written content. Content creation is where it's at. And this is a skill that we as musicians really need to capitalize on. I say this all the time about content creation. I think content creation is the revolution that was built for musicians, because it's essentially what we already do. We write songs, we write music, we compose music, we play music, and that's content. The only difference between it, like what it was before the content thing is that now it's being recorded. So we got our cell phones, we got our laptops and all of that kind of stuff where we record the video, and it turns automatically into content. So we're not even really doing any extra work. We can take exactly what we're doing now, put our cell phones next to us while we're doing it, and then that's content. And you think that's simple, but people are getting rich from that. Simple stuff like that. There's a drummer on YouTube that I follow. I can't remember his name, but there's a drummer. He's a really great drummer. He's in this band, and they play some good stuff. And all he does, his band has hundreds and thousands of followers on YouTube. All he does is when they have a gig, however often it is, he sets up a camera behind his drum set, and you can see his drum set and some of the members in his bands and some of the audience, and he plays gigs, cover songs, original songs, the whole thing. Hundreds of thousands of followers, making money from just literally doing what you were already doing and setting up a camera and recording it. It's the wildest thing. This is the skill, my friends, that we really, really need to concentrate on. This content creation, all of this stuff. So if you've been thinking about starting a YouTube channel, uploading your stuff to Instagram, making money from these platforms. Now is the time to do it. The good news about it is, the good news and the bad news at the same time about it is that it's growing exponentially every year. I talked about this in a previous live stream, but what happened was there was already, before the pandemic happened, there was already sort of forecast about the content creation revolution, that it was going to grow to a certain amount by the year 2025, 2027. I think they estimated it. I can't remember the number. Let me just throw a number out there. So let's just say it was like $20 billion or something like that. They were estimated before the pandemic that it was going to grow to $20 billion by 2025, 2027. Well, what happened was the pandemic came and it accelerated that growth because everybody was at home. Everybody started becoming content creators and stuff like that. Literally just within the past 5 years since the pandemic, people have gone from broke to million and billionaires. So what's happened is that growth rate accelerated. And now we reached that $20 billion. And again, I'm just throwing out that number I can't remember what the exact number is, but whatever that goal was, we reached that goal like 2.5 years early. So again, they was expecting it the earliest by 2025. I think we hit that goal within mid 2023. Now they're forecasting almost double. So whatever it is by 2030, they were forecasting almost like $40 billion. It's supposed to be worth $40 billion. And the reason that that's good news is because there's a lot of money coming in this whole cycle that I mentioned earlier, the paying out money, spending money, and then bringing it back in and all of that cycle, that's growing and growing and growing and growing. That's the good news about it. So you have a lot of opportunity there. The bad news about it is the more that it grows, the more people are going to come in and the more people are going to start eating up that money, and you're going to have more competition and the opportunities get a little fierce, right? So like what that means for you right now as a musician is really today is the time. Yesterday was better, but today is the best time right now. Like to start, if you've been thinking about getting into this content creation arena, this whole thing that we've been talking about here, now is really the best time to do it. There's really no better time than now. It is, again, sort of the thing that we've already been doing, even if it's nothing but just, again, taking your gigs or whatever when you're practicing at home. A lot of people do that when you're practicing your instrument at home, your vocals or whatever the case may be, just setting up a camera and recording it and uploading it. That really is the way to start getting into content creation. This is extremely important. So again, these are the 5 skills that we need to learn as musicians. So just to recap, again, we talked about communication, negotiation, finalization, monetization, and content creation. These are 5 essential skills that in this year, in this time that we are in now, that I believe wholeheartedly, and they've been proven to be, it's just not some belief that I have, they've been proven to be successful skills that will, again, take you from where you are right now as a musician, artist, and band, take you from that spot to where you want to be. So, imagine, going from here to there. Imagine getting to that where you have fans, you have people who support you, you're bringing in money, you're able to buy the equipment that you want to buy. It's not an issue for you. You're able to take care of yourself, take care of your family just by employing these skills. Imagine just being able to do that. Imagine the life that you can live going from that spot where you are right now to where you want to be, living in the city or the place and the house that you want to live in. All of this stuff is happening right now with people who are using these skills, particularly like communication, content creation, as we talked about the content creation revolution and stuff that we're in. People literally have done that in very short periods of time. This is the thing I say about this all the time. We talk about how if we've been talking about this even 10, 15, 20 years ago, people weren't becoming billionaires. Generally speaking, they weren't becoming billionaires overnight. It was taking people 10, 15 years to build sustainable businesses, build sustainable income. And literally right now, since we're talking about 5 years since the pandemic happened, really 4 years and some change, people have gone from broke to billionaires, and with little work and little effort, putting up content. And billionaires, that's like, when I say that you may look at that and say, okay, that's the extreme. Yeah, that's probably not possible for everybody. It may not be. Everybody is not going to be a billionaire. It's just not the way that it works, right? But what happens if you make an extra 100,000 a year, extra 50,000 a year, extra 20,000 a year? Definitely in the realm of possibility, right? All of these skills will get you there. So again, you guys let me know what you're thinking about these tips and how you're going to use them. And as you're doing that, as you're jumping in the chat, if you are, if this is an opportunity that you do want to take a part of, particularly with the content creation part of it, I do want to let you know about our program, the YouTube Creator Academy, that I built specifically for us musicians. And again, it's our premier course here in what we use on Music Space. It's what we use to, let me share my screen here so you can see all of it. What a lot of content creators now have gotten into, specifically musicians, because we built this course specifically for us musicians, to get into this content creation and understand YouTube specifically, understand how to use YouTube to make money. That's exactly what this course is built for. So again, this is something I want to let you all know about. If this is something you're interested in, I definitely advise you to get in on this now. Again, as this content creation revolution is consistently and continually happening, the opportunities, as the longer you wait, the opportunity starts to go down. So really now is the time to do it. So I did want to provide that opportunity. And what I'll do is I'll take this link and I'll post it in the chat. If this is something you guys are interested in doing, definitely go ahead and check this out and go ahead and join the YouTube Creator Academy today. Just click the I like my special offer button and you can get in, get the information and get started on this content creation journey. But I did want to throw that out there to you guys. So again, you guys let me know. Let me go over here to my full screen. There we go. Let me know what you guys are thinking. Let me see what's going over here to the chat. FM is here saying, yo, what's up, Terry? What's up, FM? Good to have you back, man. Let me see. You saying, hey, man, have you ever checked First Pentecostal Church of North Little Rock's music? No, I haven't checked them out, man. Is that something I should check out? Let me know. Yeah, I'll definitely go check them out if that's something that's pretty cool to check out. I haven't checked them out yet, though. So, yeah, let me know. So, again, if you guys have any questions, go ahead and start dropping them in the chat now. Sonic asks, is this live? Yeah, man, we're live. We're live right now. So you're getting me live in living color, as they say. So yeah, you can ask any questions and stuff that you want to ask. What we've been talking about are the 5 essential skills that every musician needs to have, again, in this year, to go from where they are right now to where they want to be as musicians. FM is saying, yes, sir, bro, they're legit. Okay, I'll check them out. I'll definitely give that a search once we get off. I actually have to leave here and get ready for a gig this evening. So I'll definitely check them out. So that is First Pentecostal Church of North Little Rock. Okay, I'll definitely check them out. Sonic is saying, what would your biggest advice be for a producer that's just getting started with producing? Producer that's just getting started with producing, get better at producing. Simple answer, right? I know it sounds simple, but work every day getting better at producing. Work on your craft, grind, get better and better, get educated, start watching videos, learn from the pros. Just do it and 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 start getting better at it. Now, while you're doing that, while you're getting better at it, it's not that you only have to just do that. You can start generating some business and some money around what you're doing. Start making some connections, start networking, putting yourself out there that you're a producer, that if anybody's interested in contacting you about producing music, that you're willing to work with them, you're willing to help them. Start putting yourself out. start hooking up with some other producers and networking with them as you're doing that. And then it happens pretty fast. Like that kind of market is really a really good market. What I will say, this is a insider tip as a coming from a producer myself that's been in that arena for many, many, many years now. What I will say is, as a producer, understand this, that this time that we're living now, being a producer is not just about producing the music. This is something that I learned over time. It's not just about producing the music. It's also about kind of being a mentor to the people you're producing. What I found is that people generally want and need guidance, especially when you're working with somebody new. If you're producing somebody new, that's, want to work on a song or something for the first time or work on music for the first time, they need guidance. And it's up to us as sort of producers to help guide them through that process, to help them get the best results. Because what happens is a lot of clients come in with a lot of ideas, which that's normal. There's nothing wrong with that. They come in with a lot of ideas about what they want and how to get stuff done. And that may not be the way that it works or the best way to get it done. And you as a producer need to learn to guide them. This is why I say work on your craft. And while you're working on being a better music producer, learn those skills that we've talked about here. You see, guys, this perfect question. This is why these skills come into place. What do we talk about? Communication. What I'm explaining to him right now is a thing of communication, learning how to communicate effectively so that they understand you and you understand them, and you're able to guide and mentor them in that process. That's the communication part of it. The negotiation part of it is when you're talking about negotiating how much you're going to get paid from that person. And guess what else? You're creating content for them. Like all of this stuff, I'm telling you guys, if you learn these skills, it just works. So that's how it works. So I hope that helps, man. Bruce is saying, enjoyed your playing at George Foreman's funeral. Oh man, thank you so much. Yeah, that I posted a video of that, man. Everybody seemed to love it. Yeah, it was. What I'm gonna do, I have some kind of behind the scenes stuff that I recorded from that, what happened that day of too, that I'll post. It was a really, really, really interesting day playing at a celebrity's funeral, man. It was really a treat. We had fun and it was great. So thank you for sharing that, man. T Young is asking, how do you handle taxes and insurance with your personal business? Woo! Oh my goodness, man. That's a big one, because I just finished, like last week was tax day, and just finished doing all of that stuff. I'm hesitant to talk about it because, one, I'm not a tax expert at all. And matter of fact, I'm probably not even really good with that. I always have so my only advice is to get somebody who knows what they're doing, knows how to get stuff done with taxes and insurance and all of that, and start working with them. And that's what I did. So I guess what I can tell you is, I guess, just that make sure you're doing everything legit, man. Don't try to cut corners. And I'm not saying that you would do this, but I know this is what happens with a lot of people that messes people up. Like they try to cut a lot of corners and all of this kind of stuff, and it ends up coming back to bite them in the butt. So just try your best to do everything legit, follow the law and all of that kind of stuff, as it concerns that, you may be able to save some money here and there when you got somebody to help you out with your taxes and all of that kind of stuff. But just be careful about doing that and make sure you follow whatever the laws are around it. That's kind of all I can say, because that's not an area of expertise of mine at all. So I'm not gonna sit here and try to front and say you need to do this. Now, it's not that I'm unknowledgeable about it, because as a business, you kind of have to know some stuff. I'm really hesitant to kind of talk about tax information, because I can lead somebody wrong with that kind of stuff. I can tell you to set up an LLC or DBA and all of that kind of stuff, but that may not be the best route for everybody. So again, my only advice, man, is to get somebody in your corner that that knows that stuff, that can help you out, help you get that stuff done. So I hope that helps. FM100, who's your Mount Rushmore of keyboard players? Woo! Oh man, that's a really good question. Who would I put on my Mount Rushmore? Let me see. For me, man, it has to be a lot of a few of the old school jazz cats, man. Like I would put George Duke there, Herbie Hancock for sure. Chick Corea. How many is on Mount Rushmore? Is it 4 or is it 5? Is it 4? God, is it? So who did I say? So George Duke, Herbie Hancock, Chick Corea. If I'm going with someone more modern, it'd probably be Corey Henry. Who would be a fifth one? Who would I put on that? Maybe. I would have to think about who that fifth one is. But I think it's only 4 on rock. Let me look up Mount Rushmore. Let me see. How many faces are on that? Mount Rushmore. Let me go to images. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So it is only 4 on there. Okay. So yeah, I named my 4 then. That would be my Mount Rushmore. Okay. So Evil Pickle is saying, what about one-on-one lessons? I have most of the equipment I think I need for content creation, music videos, but need to know step by step on how to get started. I'm old and have a lot of family obstacles. That's a good question, Evil. That's if you have all of the equipment that you need, I mean, you're really already set. And I can tell you that most people on here, everybody probably already has equipment. If you have one of these in your possession, a cell phone, a modern cell phone with that you've gotten within the past 5, 6, 7, 8 years, you're more than capable of creating really good content. So as it pertains to music lessons, I did an actual course on that. And that's one of the things I didn't bring up. I always talk about our Musicians in a Circle thing here. Let me bring you over to take a look at this. I did a course. Let me see if I can go in here and find it, about setting up your teaching lessons business. I can't even remember what we called it. These are some of the courses. So if you guys see it, stop me and let me know. But we did a course in Musicians in a Circle about exactly the step-by-step approach of setting up your music lessons teaching business, like getting started with that. Like we did a step-by-step, and I can't find it here, but yeah, we did a course where I talked about that. But it's really simple. I mean, if you got a cell phone, just start recording your lesson. Just do what I would do. This is, let me give you, I'm gonna give you this for free. This is for free for everybody that's listening. What you do is just really take a sort of what I call the ground approach. Put yourself in the in the position of someone who's just starting out, who is their day one. Now, ask yourself the question of what do I need to know if I'm teaching music lessons, guitar lessons, piano, whatever, and I'll just use piano for example. What is the thing that I need to know from day one that's going to give me the most bang for my buck, that's going to be the sort of foundational thing that's going to help me out throughout the whole process of learning this instrument, the piano? Would it be how to sit at the piano? Would it be the hand position on the piano? How to think about the piano? Things like that. Put that down. That's your step one. That's your video one. Foundation. Video one. Then you go to day 2 or week 2. What is the thing that once they've learned that foundational skill that they need to learn that to build on top of that to get them to the next level? There's your video 2. And you keep building that process like that till you get to a point where there's I told you guys about one of my most famous or my favorite books of all time is a book called The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. It's a book called by Stephen Covey, the author Stephen Covey, really popular book. And one of the habits in that book that he mentions was beginning with the end in mind. So Evil, as you're setting up your course, start with that end in mind. What is the objective that by the end of them taking your online course that you want them to be able to achieve? And it could be anything. So let's say your course just teaches people how to play the major scale. That's the end result. That's the obstacle, or that's the objective you're going to get to. And then what you do is backtrack from there. What are the things that they need to do step by step that's going to get them to this point of playing all of the major scales? And then you break those down into lessons and videos, upload them, record them. You can upload. It's really simple, man. You can take those videos, just do like 10 videos of that, upload them to YouTube, make them unlisted so that everybody on YouTube can't see them. Only the people that pay for them that can see them. Then set up a PayPal account, which is free. Have people send you money through PayPal, and then you email them the link to those lessons. Done. That's, I mean, very, very, very easy. Very, very simple. So yeah, that's that's how you do that, Evil. Um, Bruce is saying, also, what DAW would you recommend for mixing and mastering? You know, when we talk about this, so it's all, when you ask that question, or when people ask that question and bring this up, it's always a matter of preference. I use Cubase, and that's because I've been a Cubase user literally since 2006. So almost, 20 years now. I've been using Cubase for 2006. Now, I use Cubase because I'm familiar with Cubase, and that's the one I know the most. I can log into it easily. I mean, I'm mixing and mastering in there. I'm producing music. That's the one I work with. I have no other need for nothing else. We're past this time to where, I don't know if you know about this, but there was, I mean, even if we had been talking 7-8 years ago, there was all of these online arguments about which DAW is best and which DAW sounds the best. All of that kind of stuff has long been debunked. I've been talking about that for ages. The DAW, it's a software. Whichever one it is that you want to pick and use that's going to be best for you, that's best for your needs, that fits your kind of disposition, is going to be the best one. So your options, I mean, again, I would always say Cubase because that's the one I love. But you got Logic Pro, you got Pro Tools, you got Studio One, you got Ableton Live. You got all of these DAWs that you can just pick for one. Just my advice with that is always literally just pick one, start using it, and see how it works for you. And just know going into that, it's not about how something is going to sound. No DAW sounds better than the other one. Software has no sound. Your sound is going to come from your hardware equipment, your interface, the instruments and cables and stuff that you're using to plug into for that software to record. So just know that. And I'm sure you may know that already, but I just have to throw that out because people are still get a little confused about that kind of stuff. So yeah, just pick one, Bruce, and go with it. Austanik is saying, I'm from Europe and would be glad, a good idea to move to LA because I heard you can network very good over there or find music mentors there. Wow, that's a good question, man. You know what? I can't say that I know the answer to that for sure. What I would say to something like that is the grass always looks greener on the other side. I don't know Europe enough to be able to tell you what the networking is or isn't like there. So take what I'm saying with a grain of salt. My first inclination is to say that practice networking where you are. Build a network where you are and with the people around you. It may be easier somewhere else. Sure. I'm not taking away from that. But until you've capitalized on where you are, you kind of know that process. And then the other part is if you move to somewhere else, say like LA, and you don't know how to network, you're there and you just still don't know how to network. So you're going to kind of run into the same problems. So what I would say is, build your networking skills where you are. Start trying to network and connect with people and build those foundational relationships and stuff like that. And then if you find out at that point to where these networks are just not strong enough for you, then maybe consider moving to somewhere else like LA and seeing if that works better for you. That's kind of only advice I can give on that. I can't say that the networking is better anywhere else. There's a lot of hustle and grind in a city like LA. There's a lot in a big city. LA is the LA is the largest city in the U.S. So I live in the fourth largest city. So you got LA, you got New York, you got Chicago, and you got Houston. I live in Houston. And when you're in a big city like that, it can even be harder to network because there's just so many people. And in a city like mine where everything is like really, really spread out, I mean, it can be hard to connect with people and maintain those connections. So, I mean, I wouldn't just kind of give up on where you are yet. So maybe, again, just look at where you are and try to use your networking skills there and see what happens. So hope that helps. Evil saying Rick Wakeman. Who you bring up? Are you bringing up? Is that a piano player? Evil? What are we talking about there? Avatar is saying, hey, Terrence, I'm trying to level up content creation this summer. I've got ideas, but unsure about audio. I play guitar. People suggest an iRig. What gear do you use to get a clean, full sound? Okay. That's a really, really good question, man. So if in the sense that you're talking about recording your instrument, the way that I do it is because, again, somebody asked me about the DAW I used earlier. Because I'm a music producer, I have all of this equipment. I have, like, literally right here, I could turn the, let me see, I don't want to turn my camera and mess up the angle, but literally if you guys can hear that, I'm really pointing at and touching my audio interface now. What I would recommend is if you probably already got a computer or a laptop. So just go out and buy a cheap audio interface. Get something like that. I'll pull this up for you. I'll show you the one that I like using. I'll go to, let me search it on Amazon. Let me see. So the one that I'm using right now is, or the one that I would recommend for you to get started with is this one. Let me go to my other screen over here. Let's pull this up. This is the Focusrite Scarlett Solo. This is a single audio interface. The picture keeps moving there. There we go. Get you one of these. It's only 99 bucks. You see it's here, 99 bucks. This is something that you can start with. So you can plug your guitar, your vocal into here, and record your stuff. This will record right into your computer. Now, the thing about these audio interfaces too, they come with, a lot of these audio interfaces come with light versions of like these DAWs. So you can get a light version of Cubase or Pro Tools or any of those kind of things and start learning to record in there. And it's really, really easy. You'll take a couple of days, get it set up, learn the process of recording your sound and putting it in there and bouncing it down. It literally only takes a couple of days to be able to, if you're new at starting it. So this is what I would recommend. So this would be the first one. Now, if you want to upgrade to something bigger than this, I think this is it's called a solo because you only have one input. So again, your input is here and then you got the instrument input there. See that right there? It even says it on there, instrument. So you can put it in there and you can record your stuff. If you want to upgrade to another one, let me go back to, let me see. They have the Focusrite. Let me type that in. Focusrite Scarlett, the 2i2, that would be the next biggest one up from there. So this is the one that's the next biggest one up from there. This is kind of, if I would say the first one that I recommend, that's if you're trying to be on a budget and you're trying to not pay that much. But if you have the extra money to pay this $199 to get started, this is the one that I recommend because you got your headphone output here. You can record two things at the same time. See these two inputs right here? You can record those two things. I don't know why the picture keeps changing. Record those two things at the same time, and this will be something that can last you for a little bit while. So these are the ones that I would recommend. So the Focusrite Scarlett 2i2 or the Solo if you're trying to stay on budget. So just get that recorded into your computer, man. I think this one comes with, this one is saying, look, see all the software you need to record. It comes with the software. Done. Spend a couple $100, get this one, and you're done. That's all you need to do. So that's what I would recommend. The iRig stuff, when you're talking about doing that, it's a little bit more complicated, and you still got to plug the iRig into something to record it. So it's like, I mean, you could record it directly into your phone. Maybe you could do that, but I mean, it's always better when you can do it this way because you have the audio files that you can use to edit and all of that kind of stuff whenever you want to do it. So hope that helps out, man. Astounding Consent, thank you. That's good advice. My pleasure, man. Really hope you got some value from that. All right, so let me see. I don't see any more questions. Let me know if you guys got any more questions. We got about 5 minutes and we're going to stay here. I got a hard stop at 4 o'clock my time. I got to get ready to get to a gig this evening. So, if you guys got any more questions, let me know. Evil is saying, thanks. I always feel inspired when I listen to you. Also, Wakeman was the keyboard player for Yes. The DAW I've been using is Reaper, and Scarlett Line is great. Yeah, man. Yeah. First of all, my pleasure, man. I'm really glad that it's something I'm saying here is offering some value to you. Yeah, Reaper's a good DAW. Isn't Reaper free? If I'm not mistaken, Reaper is free. Or am I thinking about what's the other? There's another DAW that's free. And this is why you guys, this content creation thing I've been telling you about is so easy to get into now. Like the bar of entry, the door to the entry is so easy to open right now. It doesn't really take anything. Literally, if you got a phone, I'm not kidding when I say that. If you got a phone, you can get into content creation now. And who was that was saying, let me see. That was Avatar saying you're going to get into it this summer. Don't wait, man. Just start it now. At least start the process. Start whatever it is that you're thinking about with the content creation. Open up a document on your computer or notes app on your phone. Start writing it out. Start saying, this is what I'm going to create. This is video 1. This is video 2. This is the direction I want to go in. That way you can start getting yourself in the mindset of doing that. Don't wait. I know it's something that it's when people, like, I tell you guys all the time, I'm into fitness, and I'm also a fitness trainer. So people, it always amazes me when people say, like the New Year's resolution people, hey, I want to, in January, I'm gonna hire you to be my fitness trainer. I'm like, and it's October now. So you just want to stay unhealthy and fat and stuff for the next 3 months? Like, what's the purpose of waiting? It's mind boggling, man. So start today. MRC is saying Reaper is a good inexpensive software to use. Yeah. So somebody saying Audacity is free. MRC is saying Audacity is free. I know Audacity is free, but there's another one. There's something else that I'm thinking about that I thought was free. So maybe not Reaper. There's another one that everybody uses that's a free one. And I can't think. It's not GarageBand or something like that, but it's another. I know GarageBand is free-ish too, but that's not the one I'm thinking about. So it's another one. Easy is saying, do you have any favorite effects pedals? No, not really. I don't use them much. I was using an effects pedal when I did do singing and a lot of vocals. I had like a little reverb thing, but I don't even use that much at all anymore too. So I play keyboards and stuff mostly, so I don't use any effects pedals for that. Like the effects are on board on the keyboard, so I can use those. If I'm playing bass or something like that, I usually just like to go directly through my amp. I use most of the time like a combo amp where it's got like some settings on there, my EQ and stuff and settings. It has like drive settings on there, and that's enough for me. So I don't generally use any sort of effects pedals at all. Bruce is saying, what is your favorite keyboard to play? It depends on the day, man. I'm working on a video right now. I have a keyboard right in front of me right now. I just got this new Roland V Stage keyboard. I just got it a few weeks ago, and I've been testing it out. I've done it on a few gigs, and I'm doing a review about it. So I've been talking about all of the keyboards. I have all of the major ones. I have this V Stage now. I have the Korg Kronos. I have the Nord Stage. I have the Yamaha Montage. And I play on all of those regularly. So again, it just depends on the day. If it's something where I'm just playing piano and it's a solo gig or something like that, you can't beat the Nord on that. Even the hymn is saying that nothing beats the Nord. Yeah, I mean, that's for me, that would be my go-to. But if I'm playing with a bigger band or something like that, and I need some aux sounds, and I'm kind of playing double keyboards, up until now, it's been I play my Yamaha Montage on the bottom and then my Korg Kronos on top. I've recently changed that because I got this new V Stage. Now I got the V Stage on the bottom and then my Kronos on the top. So I've been kind of testing that. So it just kind of depends on the day for me, man, and what I'm doing. Hypnotist is saying, no, let me see. Let me go back first. Everything I'm saying is, I keep wanting to play music online, but I don't have a great background and I worry about how the sound will be. Don't, man. When I tell you, it's so funny. This is so funny to me. Like when I got into YouTubing and when I got into content creation over 10, 12, 13 years ago now, it was much different. It was a time where you kind of had to worry about those things because people will come and clown you. People would talk about your background. People would talk about, hell, the kind of shirt you wear. I know. I remember this guy I followed online. Like he was giving some of the best advice online, but people would be in his comments talking about him and the kind of shirts that he wear. I'm like, why? This dude's giving value. So you had to worry about that stuff. We're past that. Nobody even does that anymore, with the exception of the dumb troll here or there. Nobody even talks about that stuff anymore. You don't have to worry about that, man. My bed is right here. This is literally my bed, bro. Like, don't worry about that. Don't worry about lights. I got these some cheap lights. These two here that I got some from Amazon. I got it, and then I got you see the bluish light right here. I got a light behind me that I use for that. That's it. You can get something really cheap and dress that up. People are using like lamps they get from Walmart for like $10. Bro, don't worry about any of that. Your background, don't worry about it. Don't, just as long as people can see you. What you need to worry about is your lighting. So as long as people can see you clearly and hear you clearly, don't sweat it, man. Don't let any of that kind of stuff turn you off about, oh, my stuff is not going to be right. This is that finalization thing and that perfection thing that I was talking about earlier. This is an extension of that. Oh, this is not going to be right. And I'm not saying you're doing this, but we're all guilty of this. It's not going to be right. I want to wait till I get this right. No, bro. My saying is the green lights. So think of traffic lights. The green lights of life, or the traffic lights of life, they're never all going to be green at the same time. Never. You're never going to have everything in this setup and this ready to go and everything perfect. There's going to be some yellow lights. There's going to be some red lights. And you got to be willing to drive and go and make progress with the lights the way they are. Point blank, period. So I'm not going to get on my soapbox about that, but don't wait, man. Just if you can get into whatever you do now, take that first step. Like I talked about earlier, take the first step, get it done. Now you get feedback to know, oh, I need to upgrade this. Or no, I don't need to worry about this. You need to get into the game so you can get that feedback. So help that helps, man. And then Hidden Second saying Cakewalk. Cakewalk is, man, do people still use Cakewalk? Somebody, you saying Logic? Logic is not free for sure. Do people even still use Cakewalk? I haven't heard about Cakewalk in a minute. An Avatar saying, thank you for the advice. How do you go about recording audio, your event band for gigs for YouTube? Love your mixes and your videos with band. Avatar, I'm glad you asked that, man. I've been thinking about, not even really thinking about it. I've gone ahead because I get so many people asking me about that. I've literally just done a video. It's so funny. I recorded the video about 3 months ago, literally with the whole process that I go through to record the band and get it recorded and get it all dressed up and stuff. And when I upload it, I recorded a video about that, forgot about it because I was doing some other stuff and forgot to upload it. So I just thought about it the other day because somebody asked me the same question again, and I'll get that video done. So look for that video really soon, maybe even as soon as like next week. I'll try to get that video up because I get a lot of people ask me about that all the time. So yeah, just look for that. Sean is saying, hey Terrence, I finally caught you live stream. I think you're talking about Band Lab. They used to be Cakewalk. Yeah, that's right. Cakewalk did turn into Band Lab. It's not Cakewalk or Band Lab. It's another one that I'm thinking about. Let me see if I can look it up really quickly here. We got to jump off in a minute because it's after 4. Let me see. Free dolls. Let me see if anything comes up. Yeah, Band Lab is the first one that came up in my search here. Let me search this site here. Let me see what they have. So BandLab is free. That's not the one I'm thinking about. MPC Beats. I've never even heard of that. Serato Studio. Kakos Reaper. That's Reaper. That's not the one that I'm thinking about. I know you guys will know the name of it if I say it too. Let me check one more thing here. So there's Audacity. It's talking about Audacity there. There's Magix. I forgot about Magix too. Music Lab. So a lot of these, the good thing about even like these paid DAWs, even the ones that's most expensive, pretty much all of them have light versions of it where you can download those for free and kind of use them. And you can, especially if you're getting started, it's more than enough to kind of get you in the game. I'll come back on this live stream and next week, if I think about this name, I'll tell you guys what it is. I cannot think of what the name of this DAW is. I'm telling you, if you guys hear me say the name, you guys will absolutely know what I'm talking about. FTM saying, yeah, I'm a recovering perfectionist. Yeah, honest man, many of us are. I think a lot of us went through that perfectionist phase because like I said, I'm empathetic to it because I understand why we're like that. I understand that we want to be seen as like people who are like wear this badge of I'm a perfectionist. I don't do anything until it's right. And We think people see that in our society as, oh, he's serious. He puts out something. It's going to be great. Nah, it's just not how it works. People, it's like that. It's like an authenticity thing. People know that we're full of crap when we say that, especially in this time that we live in now. And again, I say all the time, the perfectionism, let me try not to get on the soapbox because I can talk about this all day. But the perfectionism thing really is just about us trying to avoid people judging us. That's really what it comes down to. We think we can do and be and have everything and make it perfect so people won't judge us negatively. The bad news is they do anyway, because nothing is perfect. My go-to example all the time is you could be doing the greatest thing on earth. You could be saving dying babies in a third world country, 24 hours, 7 days a week, with all of your waking hours. The only thing you're doing outside of that is eating food. And somebody's going to criticize and judge you about how you're doing it and why you're doing it. It's just the way that it is. So you can't judge, or you can't take away people's perception and, dictate what you're doing and try to be a perfectionist to avoid people's criticism. It's just the way that it is. So yeah, I understand that, man. Let me try to run through these other ones really quickly. Let me see. You Googled and found a list too. So Ableton Live, like Cubase, Reaper, GarageBand, Waveform, Free Pro Tools, Luna, Magix, Audacity, Studio One, Prime. Yeah, these are all of the light versions of that. And none of these are the ones I'm thinking. I'm telling you, I don't know why I cannot think of the name of. I'll do this. Let me send a text message right quick. Let me give this like 2 minutes. I'm going to send a text because I know I have a friend of mine that uses this DAW. Let me see. Let me do it really quickly. Okay, let me send this. Let me see. Hey man, what's the DAW use on the computer? All right, just sent that text message. Let me give him 2 minutes to see if he texts me back, and I'll let you guys know what it is. Because I know he uses it. Okay, so Sharon is saying, I hope I'm saying your name right. Oh, I put an S in there. Aaron? Aharon? It's a neat name, man. So you're saying, hey, Terrence, do you need permission to start a YouTube channel? And if not, how did you start out? I was thinking about it, but I don't know where to begin. That's a good question, man. No, you don't need permission to start a YouTube channel. You literally log on YouTube, click create account, create YouTube channel, and you're done. I mean, and then you start uploading videos. Now, in order to start getting monetized, to start making money from YouTube, you have to like meet some requirements and stuff like that. You got to get like a certain number of what they call watch time and watch hours. And you got to have a certain amount of subscribers. And the good news about that, again, is that barrier of entry, what that level is, it's much lower now than what it was even 5 years ago when I started. And it's been over 5 years. I'm just talking about 5 years ago, just to give you a number. It used to be you had to have 1,000 subscribers. They've halved that. Now you only have to have 500. I can show you how to get 500 subscribers by next week. Really easy. You can get the watch time too. So it's really easy for you to get on and get monetized. So no, the answer to your question is you don't need permission. Where to begin? Depending on what you do, just what I say is don't think about it too much. Just start posting stuff. The YouTubing and content creation is one of those things that you kind of find out about it as you do it. You kind of find out what you like and what you don't like and how you want to go about doing it as you're doing it. So you create some content and you look back on it. Again, it's taking that step and getting that feedback, saying, okay, I took this step. How do I feel about that? Did I enjoy the process? Did I have fun making this? Then now you have some feedback to say, okay, yeah, I want to do this again. And also feedback from the audience. Okay, did they how did the audience receive this, and being objective about it? How did the audience receive that? Did they like it, and do I like it? So now I can keep going. So it's kind of like one of those things. So you tried a bunch of different stuff till you find out what you like. So you go through that process for a little while. That's the way to get started. You're saying Magic Track and Reason? No. Cubase is not free. Cubase is the one I use. The Cubase is one of the most expensive DAWs out there, and I have the pro version of it. A lot of people complain about the price of Cubase, but one of the reasons I like it is because it's so intel. You get a lot of stuff with Cubase. So that's definitely not the free one that I'm talking about. I didn't, let me see. Did he text back? Hadn't text back yet. Oh wait, let me see. So he said sometimes he uses reason. So reason, somebody brought up reason earlier. But that's not the one that's free. So he just texts back, says sometimes I use reason. But I know he has a free one that he used too. Let me see if he texts me back in. But anyway, guys, it's 10 minutes after 4. I'm 10 minutes past my time. I got to get going. I got to get ready for a gig. I got to leave in about 20 minutes. So I got to get my clothes and stuff ready. So really quickly, thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you guys for your time. Literally take all of these tips that we've learned today. Let me see. Hold on. I think it's still on there. Oh, okay. Never mind. He's still talking about reason. Okay. Yeah. Take these tips that we've learned today, these skills, take them seriously. I'm telling you, if this will take you, and I'm not kidding when I'm saying, I'm not just blowing smoke up you, but I'm really serious when I wholeheartedly believe these are the skills, the 5 skills that when you adopt, when you master, when you get good at, not even be a perfectionist at, or just that great, just good enough at, you literally can make serious moves. Literally make serious moves. And again, if you guys, quite a few of you guys here were talking about the content creation thing, I do really advise, I'm not just throwing this out there because it's my program, but I do really advise you to get into this YouTube Creator Academy. Again, I'll go ahead and post this link one more time so you guys can check it out. That you've been thinking about getting into content creation and YouTubing and all of this kind of stuff. This course is specifically, I broke this down for people like us, for musicians, step by step. Shows you how to get in, how to set up your channel, get monetized, all of those things that you're going to need to be successful. All of this program will give you that. And most of all, it gives you the ability to take yourself from where you are now to becoming a content creator and, really living that dream life that we all live, think about as musicians. So I do advise you to do that. But like I say, in the meantime, thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you guys for supporting the channel and consistently being here on these live streams. I love talking to you guys. Aaron is saying, thanks for going live to teach. Thank you for, Eva saying, thank you all. Good luck and God bless. Thank you all again for being here. So until next time, guys, I will see you in the next video. Have a great one. Go apply these tips.